Oh, what's up, guys? I just watched Squid Game Season 2. And I gotta say, before I found out that there was a Season 3, I kind of felt disappointed in how the season ended. Because throughout the entire season, it's leading me to believe that, Gi-yoon is gonna be trying to put an end to the games, but then he ended up getting caught again. And the front man turns out to be player one. And if you remember, OL Nam was player one. And he was the host, I guess. So at no point did Gi-yoon catch on to that. I don't know how, especially since the guy knew his name and everything, knew who he was, stuck to him like glue. Like, how is that not suspicious to Gi-yoon after how he was, dedicated his nothing but time to finding them for the past 2 years straight, spending tons and tons of money, but then once he gets in there, he just suddenly forgets all about it, Anyway, or I shouldn't say he forgets all about it, but it's just like none of the dots that were connecting that he had connected before, like the recruiter guy, so on and so forth, where he works at, or where he patrols, what times, and all this and that. Like, he had everything down to a T, but somehow didn't notice that the front man was, whatever. Well, anyway, it also makes you believe that at the end of season 1, the front man is seen looking in the mirror after he shot his brother, and he's pulling the bullet out, cleaning his wounds, and he has a flashback. He has a memory of shooting his brother, and it's just like he's shaking while looking in the mirror. And you can't tell if it's from the pain or if it's because of the shock of shooting his own brother. And so it makes you think that since he's in the game, because he took such an interest in Gi-yoon and brought him back, makes you think he's trying to examine Gi-yoon and find out why exactly he's doing this. If there's some kind of hope for humanity, because throughout the whole thing, they were trying to make it a big thing about how, the players are nothing but trash and they'll never change, blah, 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 blah. They're all the same. They just want money. They'll kill anybody to do it. So they don't belong here. But Gi-yoon wasn't like that. Gi-yoon is like one of the only ones that actually trying to help people. Well, not one of the only ones, because, you got obviously some good people, but Gi-yoon already won, and he hasn't even spent any of his money, well, besides like hunting for the people. So obviously they keep track of their players even outside, so they know this. So it makes you really think like, yeah, this guy's definitely taking an interest, and maybe he's trying to have a change. He's getting ready to have a big change of heart. And then it supports this even further whenever Thanos brings up, go home and watch your own kid, you old man, blah, blah, blah. And then the front man gets extremely pissed about that. Nearly fucking kills the guy. And then just snaps out of it. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like so respectful. Which I guess that was part of the plan. Like, just kind of, I don't know if he was just doing it for fun or what. I guess it was just kind of like OL Nom, I guess, for fun. But, that tad bit of, context that we get there, because we seen the cop and his mom talking about the situation with the front man's wife, how she had already passed away. The front man pretended like she was alive still yet to have a good excuse as to why he was in there. But it makes you think, like, there's a pregnant girl in there too. And apparently his wife was pregnant whenever she died. So it also makes you think like, oh shit, something's gonna happen where this pregnant woman's gonna be in a very serious life or death situation. And that's when the front man's really just gonna have this come to Jesus push that he needed. in order to really just change his mind and start seeing that people are people instead of just useless trash like they always like to say. And then when they finally go through with their little plan, he kills some, they all go along with it, by the way, with no fucking problems. They execute it perfectly up until the last moment. And he was gonna go with Gi-yoon and leave the best friend, Gi-yoon's best friend, Joon-gi or whatever his name was. I can't remember now. But the front man was gonna go with Gi-yoon to the control room. After they already took over, got the guns from the workers. After the fight, I'll just start from the beginning. After the fight broke out, Gi-yoon's group, they all hid under the bed, knowing the plan that they was gonna wait until after the big fights, where they kill people, they go and fight and kill each other. And they was gonna wait until the workers came back in, pretend they were dead, and jump them, take their guns, blah, blah, blah. Well, they ended up doing that. They took their guns, they got all kinds of ammo, they killed a bunch of the workers, and they started moving up. They took one worker hostage, and the one worker did tell them, hey, this is where the control room is, this is where management is. So, Gi-yoon's like, well, okay, you guys, they're in the middle of the room now, like in the middle of the building now, away from where the fight happened, and like kind of in between where the fight happened and the management room, and they're in another firefight with the workers. And Gi-yoon's like, okay, I'm gonna go to the control room, and the front man gets up to go with him. So it makes you think, well, okay, let me just, before I get ahead of myself. So the front man gets up to go with him, and Gi-yoon's like, I'll take Joon-gi. You stay here and help everybody. Whatever. So he takes Joon-gi, and they go, and they get into the management room, not the office, but like the area to leading to the management office. And they come across some more. And at this point in the series, or at this point in the episode, everybody's kind of starting to get low on ammo. And so the ones that stayed back sent somebody to go get some ammo, but he ended up being a coward, not getting any, or not bringing any back. He just kind of went back, hid in a bed, and got in fetal position. And Gi-yoon sitting there the whole time, hey, we need ammo. They're stuck right at the bottom of the steps leading up to the management office. They're stuck. And he hollers at the front man. He doesn't know it's the front man at this point, mind you. And so the front man gets two other people. He's like, let's go, they need some backup. And at this point, it's like, you think that he's kind of changed and gonna help, and then reveal after he's killed everybody. See, I kind of thought that he was gonna go in and kill all the workers, and then while they were in a room alone, shoot Yoon, and then I don't know. But anyway, the front man and the two other guys, they circle around back behind the workers that are, in a firefight with Yoon and Joon-gi. And he looks at the other two and he's like, all right, now sneak up behind them and get them. And as they're going, he shoots him. And then right at that point, everything changed. Like, the front man just went back to being the front man just like that. It wasn't even a transition. There wasn't even a second thought about it. And then he radios Gil, and it's like, it's over, Gil. Because he knows that, the room where the ammo was is locked down. Everything's finishing up. So he goes and changes back into his front man suit, gets his mask, And then he comes out to Gyun and Jung-gi. And now Gyun still doesn't know who it is. And he looks at Gyun, points the gun, then he says, "Witness the consequences of your actions." He says that after he says, "Did you have fun playing the hero?" And then he shoots Gyun's best friend in the heart and kills him instantly. And then Gyun kind of gets mad. The front man walks away, just doesn't even say anything. Walks away right after that. Nothing. And Gyun gets mad and tries to go after him. They pin him down. And that's the end. And then there's like a tiny little snippet at the end of red light, green light. And that is either signaling for a season 3, or that's just saying that the games are just going to continue. And there's no more. But I think there's going to be a season 3, because there's no way that they're going to end it like that. There's no way that they're going to end that entire series like that after everything. So with the cop, the front man's brother, it's pretty much like that entire section was completely pointless. Because they get on this boat and they're trying to find Gyun. They get lured to this area with the fake tooth that Gyun had. The Squid Games workers took his tooth out, I guess, while he was sleeping, and got the cop and the boat off track. So they sent him somewhere completely different. And so then they're like, "Oh, we should go back. We should go back." But the cop's like, "No, we're already out here. We're close. We're gonna find this place and save you and help them take over." You know. So the whole time, while the Squid Games are going on, and the front man and Gyun have been like this the whole time, you know, the cop and his boat crew's out there looking for him. So the whole time, you're under the impression that the front man's gonna have a change of heart, and he's trying to figure out why Gyun is the way he is, and if he's worth helping or not, or at least considering what he's saying or not. And the whole time, you think that it's building up to this big thing to where, you know, the cop's gonna show up, he's gonna see his brother, and then I don't know what I was expecting, really. I was kind of expecting it to end there, but then again, how could they? They're making millions off this. So, I mean, kind of a smart play for them, but it just didn't make any sense to me, because like I said, the cop on the boat, it cuts to a night scene, and there's a big storm, and apparently they had decided to go back because there was a storm, but this is after they had already decided to stay. So it just felt like this is just random, just something to kind of get them out of the way. Well, anyway, the captain, he's awake, and then it cuts to one of the employees that the cop hired waking up from a drunken stupor. You know, he wakes up on a hangover, he goes out and pukes. Then he hears something rustling around in this room next to him. And keep in mind, they have this nice drone that they've been flying around to try to find the island. That way they don't have to get off the boat and risk getting shot or killed by booby traps, because they already lost one guy. So they'd been using a drone instead of wasting a bunch of time, you know, unloading the boat back up. Well, the captain is doing something to the drone. We don't know what, but the drone flight guy, the one that woke up and puked off the side of the boat, he walks in on the captain looking at the drone, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And the captain comes up with this stupid ass excuse. He's like, "Oh, I was just curious. I've never seen a drone before. I just wanted to see one, how they worked. I don't know." You know, after seeing it for days, he's suddenly interested in it. So obviously the guy catches on. The captain tries to leave. The guy walks out, and he's like, you know, "Why are you acting so different now all of a sudden?" And then the captain just fucking stabs him, kills him right there, throws him overboard. And then Woo Sock, or whatever his name is, name is. It was one of the guys from the first episode, which the recruiter killed, or not killed, but so in the first episode, the recruiter captured the boss and Woosock. That's who Woosock was. So it's an employee of Giyun. But anyway, Woosock comes up and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing up so late?" And the captain's like, "Oh, I heard something loud out here. That's why I'm awake." And Woosock is just a fucking idiot, I guess, because he's just like, "Oh, okay, good night," and that's it. And then it never fucking explores it any further. That's literally all you get from that. It never cuts back to them again for the rest of the series. So you don't know why the captain just killed somebody. You don't know if he's working for him or not. I guess it implies that he is, but does it tell you why he's working for him and pretending that he's not? I guess, I don't know. It's just so stupid. There's just so many questions that are unanswered, and there was just so much shit that just did not make any sense at all. Like the front man, for instance. Why even play the games? It doesn't even explain why he played the games. You know, like, you gotta at least give us something here. But anyway, hopefully season 3 is a little bit better than that, because that was just... And it started out so strong. Like, it was such an amazing intro. With, like, the recruiter playing Russian roulette, and Giyun was just, like, so fucking badass, and he didn't care at all. He was ready for that action. He was fucking pulling the trigger on himself like nothing. And, you know, barely even flinching. And so you think, like, oh man, yeah, this guy's seen death so many times now, it doesn't even faze him anymore. He's definitely gonna go in and fuck these guys up, you know. That's what it makes you believe throughout the whole thing, that Giyun's this badass now that's just gonna go in there and fucking wreck their shit. And then it ends with them being completely overpowered, nothing they can do. And the front man is just the front man, you know. It doesn't explore anything else into him. The only thing you get about the front man is, you know, what happened with his wife. And that's it. It tells you absolutely nothing else. And it's so aggravating. It's so aggravating. Like I said, at least tell us why they played. Why he played. Look, come on. But yeah, that's about it. I think, like I said, it started so strong, and then that ending just fucking sucked. That's what I think about it. But I still like Squid Games. I just don't like how the season went. It had the potential to be so fucking legendary, and then it just took a nosedive. Like, here's where we started, and it just kept going down, down, down. Like a literal plane nosediving. Like, you know how on those charts you see a line going down like that gradually? That's how season 2 went. Yeah, that's about it. See ya.